You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. I am Daniel.
And I'm Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs. You're on Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And Daniel, we're back for round two of the way too early prediction of 24/7 Sports SEC record prediction. We followed up yesterday with the first of the segment. We got through a lot of nobody teams, really. We're going to get to Georgia in segments 2 and 3, breaking down. No consequence. Very little, very small consequence.
Very small.
Part of those teams, Florida, South Carolina, Missouri,
Tennessee,
A&M.
These are not teams Tennessee we're talking about today.
Tennessee's today. We're going to start with the insignificance and work our way up to Georgia, segments 2 and 3. First segment, we're going to talk about 3 teams: Tennessee, LSU, Alabama. Thanks for making us your first listen today. This is Locked On Bulldogs, your team every day. If you're listening to us on the audio version, subscribe to a podcast wherever you find podcasts: Stitcher, Apple Podcast. If you're on the YouTube, hit subscribe. Let us know you are there by commenting, and we will let you know every time we go on. You'll get that ding, you'll get that notification. So Daniel, let's start. Tennessee 24/7 has the magic continuing and going on. He's got that high flying offense, Daniel. It's
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
High flying offense. They put up a ton of points against Georgia. Up a ton. Took us to the woodshed. Is that what happened?
I remember it that way, Daniel. Wait a second.
Oh, no, it wasn't. No, that wasn't how it all went down with Whipple and the boys. But Hendon Hooker is back, year 2, and this is a favorable schedule. 24/7's got them going 8-4, and I don't hate this, Clint. I could definitely see an 8-4 season for Tennessee. I could also see another win in there as well. So I could put Tennessee as high as 9-3 if everything goes well. They could be 10-2 team. They could beat everybody except for Georgia and Alabama on their schedule. But I just see them dropping some of these games that they probably shouldn't lose, but they will.
I was just going to say
the
two teams that I see on here, like LSU, you got them as a loss. I think LSU, I get you get a new coach. I get you're going to a lot of transfer guys coming in, but that one's not. That's not a for sure loss to me. The wins that you have for sure, Kentucky and Missouri. I don't like those at all. Those are away games. You get to go to Kentucky and Missouri. You don't get them at home. Yeah. You have to go to Florida. I don't think Florida's going to be good, but this is Tennessee we're talking about here, and we're talking about inconsistencies. There's always a regression second year for a coach like this, especially in something that's gimmicky offense like it is. And if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. So I could see, yes, the range for Tennessee really wide. We talked about range for Mississippi State being about right here. You just going from 5 to 8 wins. Range for Tennessee could be 6 to 10, that's a wide range.
It is. Speaking of wide ranges, let's talk about LSU. Brian Kelly, first year. This article has them going 9-3, Clint. I need a prediction. What is LSU's record going to be next season?
Not 9-3. I will tell you that right now. Not 9-3, Daniel. No,
okay.
No.
I think there's a chance that LSU could be 11-1.
But you asked me what the record. I said it's not 9-3. Sure. I wasn't going less than. Guys, did you see? Let me just last year the coach quit on them. He was drinking pina coladas on the sideline. The team had transferred everybody out, and everyone still there was injured, and all they had was their fourth team everywhere. And they took teams to the brink, Daniel.
Yeah.
They were up.
Tons of talent.
The talent on this roster is insane. It's just insane, Daniel.
Can I now finish my thought?
Oh.
I think LSU might go 11-1 next year. I think LSU might go 6-6 next year, Clint. Tell me that to open the season in New Orleans against Florida State, tell me LSU's a lock to win that game.
I won't.
Against Florida State. Okay, how about on the road at the Swamp? Tell me LSU's a lock to win that game. How about Ole Miss? How about Tennessee? We just mentioned. Listen, I can find, if I look, I can find 6 losses on the schedule. I don't think they're going to lose more than that. But if Brian Kelly comes out here and goes 6-6 at LSU, let me just tell you this. He may get fired after year 1. LSU don't care anymore. Okay?
Their coach won a national championship.
They ain't out here to screw around.
3 years ago, guys. 3 national championships ago, he won, and he was gone 2 years later. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
All right. Let's talk about the last team of no consequence on this list before we get to the one team of consequence. That is the Crimson Tide. I'd say probably their 3 best players on the roster. Obviously, Bryce Young, Will Anderson, and Jermaine Burton would be the most talented player on the roster. Obviously, if you listen to the national media,
because they have no wide receivers,
are going to believe the rhetoric. Again, this is the second year in a row now that Alabama has broken college football with the transfer portal. Last year, they got To'o.
By the way, really quick. How did he play in the national championship game? Would you rate him? Was the grade high or was it lower than literally every player on Georgia's defense, Daniel?
Okay. Well, maybe just don't count those chickens, national media, before they hatch. That being said, this article predicts Alabama's going to go 12-0. And I certainly do not disagree. Again, I just don't think there are teams in the SEC that can challenge Georgia and Alabama. I just don't see the teams.
Then give me the closest game on the schedule.
Okay. Texas A&M's a home game. It ain't that one. Okay, that's the game everybody's going to have circled. That's the game everybody's going to be looking at. It ain't going to be that one. Okay?
Nope.
So, when I look at this schedule, I almost said something that literally would have made you, we would have had to pause the recording because you would have been laughing so hard. But what if I said at Texas was going to be potentially the closest game on the schedule?
The closest game of the season for Alabama will be week 2 against Texas at Texas. Do you know why? Here's why. Sark has had more time. And if you go look at Sark's track record, guys, you can say what he wants. He can coach. He's had more time. He has his guys coming in. Ewers is gonna play. I swear from day one, Ewers is gonna play and he's gonna light things up. I think that kid is the real deal. The rest of the roster is there. Texas has high hopes. Sark knows this. I think they're gonna catch him at the right time. Texas is a weird place to play. Weird things happen down there. I'm telling you, it's bizarro world. I think that's the closest game.
But what if I told you this, Clint? Have you factored in the truth that Nick Saban has never lost to a former
Wait a second.
Nick Saban has only lost one time.
Wait a second.
Nick Saban has lost 2 of the last 3 games he's played against former assistants.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, that's a real thing.
Here we go down to Texas. And I'll give you a sleeper for the second closest game on the schedule, Arkansas. I'm telling you, Arkansas almost beat Alabama.
By the way, y'all, just Just so you guys fully understand, Daniel and I have spent far too much time podcasting to each other. Like, we need to start going back to the days of Talking Dogs where we just fought each other tooth and nail. We have done this podcasting for far too long. That is the second one. Arkansas has Sam Pittman. We just talked about yesterday's podcast. If you gave me an over under on a team that's going to have more wins than their projection, give me Arkansas, whatever that number is.
Sure.
I like what they got going on.
KJ Jefferson's back. They're good. Yeah.
Whew. Hey, we're going to come back after this, and we're going to let you know about the dog season, what 24/7 predicts, and what we think in reaction to that. But first, we'll let you know about Get Upside. Get Upside is the app right now. You can get it into the iOS or the Android store. Mm-hmm. Put it on your phone. Go into the gas pump, whatever you got going on. You got that 21-footer. You got the boat. You got the jet skis. Whatever you got going on.
You can't hide money.
You can't hide money. Down in North Georgia, just going camping every weekend. Doing whatever you want next to a fire pit. I don't make the rules. But if you have the app Get Upside, right now you're going to get 25% off every single gallon of gasoline that you get. Plus, if you put the promo code SCORE in, you're going to get an extra 25 cents off every single gallon of gasoline that you fill it up with. There's no gimmick. There's nothing to it. Just download the app, use it at the pump. They'll walk you through what to do. But use the promo code SCORE and get that extra 25 cents off per gallon right now for a total of 50 cents off per gallon. Some of our listeners are getting $200 to $300 back every single month. Get Upside app in the iOS store, promo code SCORE.
Also want to let you know, a Built Bar, they are the best tasting protein bar on planet Earth. Clint and I love them. We know about them because we have tried them, and we like them because they taste good. They are a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. They are high in protein, high in fiber, low in sugar. So they do not have the health statistics of a candy bar, but they do have the taste of a candy bar. They're keto approved. They're great for whatever meal plan or replacement plan you have going. And right now, if you go to BuiltBar.com and enter the promo code LOCKEDON15, you're going to get 15% off your first of Built Bars. Now, maybe you want to try one flavor. They come in a wide variety of flavors. Maybe you want to try a variety pack. That's available to you as well. BuiltBar.com. Enter the promo code LOCKEDON15, and you will get 15% off your order of Built Bars right now at BuiltBar.com.
All right, Daniel, let's get to this Georgia schedule and what 24/7 thinks it's going to be. Let's not bury the lead. 24/7 predicts us going 12-0, a perfect regular season, heading into the SEC championship rematch against Alabama, setting up what will become two playoff teams into the playoffs if this comes to fruition, because whatever happens in that, those are going to be the number 1 seed and the number 3 seed in college football playoff. Daniel, here's what we have.
Get used to it, world. Get used to it, because these are the rules. This is how things work. Our teams are good. Your teams are not good. We can't help it.
No, we can't, and I don't want to. As a matter of fact, I don't want to help it. Just you do your own thing, King Kirby. We start the season in Atlanta against Oregon, Samford at South Carolina, Kent State, Missouri, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Florida, Tennessee at home. We go to Mississippi State, at Kentucky, and finish off the season with Georgia Tech. Those are the predicted wins with no losses. And here's why. Daniel, can I just express why
please.
We are going to be okay? His name is King Kirby, and on a throne he sits.
There
in the world before him, everything that he sees is his. Okay? Yeah. So there's one.
It's a real Simba and Mufasa moment we just had there. Just everything the light touches. Everything
that copter flies over is his. Okay. Okay. That's
right.
Secondly, we have key defensive contributors back. We have 3 guys in the secondary coming back. We have edge rushers coming back. We have a talented all-world interior lineman coming back. My goodness.
I
want to talk about what I'm excited about. Woo,
we're going to be talking a lot. We're going to be talking a lot. But, like, the fact that we haven't talked already already about the fact about Jalen Carter and who he's going to be on this team next year, Clint, is shame on us because Jalen Carter is going to make you forget about some of the people that are leaving this defense to head to the NFL.
Guys, Jordan Davis. Look, get used to this. We will have this. This will be in perpetuity with Kirby as coach. We're going to have all these guys come in, all these 5 stars, all these 4 stars, all these 3 stars that he develops, and we're going to have 1 or 2 guys that stick around and become Jordan Davis-esque. This year, that's going to be Nolan Smith. Jalen Carter is going to make you forget about all the losses we had because he's an absolute monster. Guys his size shouldn't bend his way, and it's going to be a problem the entire year. And he don't come off the field. Guys, he don't come off the field. So
no. This ain't a third down, let's get in our pass rush package. First down, let's get in our run stopping package. Oh wait, 88, he do it all.
And then second down, let's just go ahead and do. Oh, and then third down, let's pin our ears back and get after it. 88 is going to be fine throughout the entire thing. Look, so these are the reasons we have key defensive contributors coming back. I think this defense I'm putting the number right now at 19.5 points per game that we give up. That's what I think we give up, which is going to be just fine because on the other end we have a national winning quarterback back. We have Kendall Milton in the fold. We have Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey. I mean, we got them all, an offensive line that is stable. I feel so good heading into this offseason already, Daniel. The question marks
as
to
you
me
should
aren't there. And the only question mark that many of you are making a big deal out of is who's going to play quarterback. And again, I say, I don't care. I either got a trophy winning quarterback or somebody out who beat out the national championship winning quarterback. I'm fine no matter what we do. That is why 12-0 seems so real, Daniel.
I mean, here's the thing about it. Just get used to this, okay? And Georgia fans, I know you are already, but get used to it again. Georgia ain't played nobody. Because next year, Georgia fans, guess what? All season long, Georgia hadn't played anybody. And we didn't play anybody this year.
Nope.
Georgia fans. And we won the dang national championship. I mean, I don't know.
It's a real rebuilding year for the entire SEC. It's a real reload season for a lot of people.
I guess we'll just go run it back and do it again, not play anybody. If you're concerned about who's going to play quarterback, let me ask you this. What did Stetson Bennett do against inferior competition last year during the regular season? How did he do there?
He put it on people, Daniel.
He put it on people. What did he do against the best team, the second best team? I'm sorry, I stuttered. What did he do against the second best team in all of college football, America's runner-up, the Alabama Crimson Tide? What did he do against them in the national championship game, Clint? What did he do when he was down? We got this comment the other day. Stetson Bennett didn't have to come from behind last season. I'm sorry. There were 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Georgia was down by 5 points. They needed not a field goal. They needed a touchdown. And Stetson Bennett went 4 for 4, marched him down the field, and scored a touchdown and won the game. He didn't have to play from behind. He didn't. Sometimes we can't respond to comments because they're so dumb. Because it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. All right. Georgia's got plenty of talent, as you mentioned. Georgia has a very soft schedule, as I mentioned. Georgia's going to go 12-0. Both of us predict that. I know when we look at this schedule, Clint, I want to know what jumps out at us. What are the danger stretches of the schedule? And then I want to talk about the opening game in Atlanta. Let's do all that when we come back in segment 3. But first, I want to tell you about betonline.ag. BetOnline is your online sportsbook expert. They're the place that Clint and I go to place all of our football, basketball, baseball, and sports wagers of various kinds. Golf season's coming up. If you haven't been seeing the Masters preview or commercials, it's a beautiful thing. We are excited about the Masters coming up. All of these lines, all of these betting angles can be found at betonline.ag. They're the place to go to place every wager. Spreads, props, over-unders, parlays, money lines, teasers, whatever you want, they have it. If you know what all of those words mean that I just said, then you know you can find them at betonline.ag. And if you don't, then you can get over there right now, make your first deposit, and BetOnline is going to give you free money. Enter the promo code LOCKEDON, and they are going to give you free money with which to wager on sports. BetOnline.ag, your online sportsbook expert.
Hey, Daniel, just so you know, a predominant coach in the college football playoff last year wanted to chime in on transfers. And if you, leave school, if you're going to transfer to different schools throughout the high school years, I really do not want to recruit you because I know you're not going to have perseverance and grit. Just talking about loss of talent from Georgia in the name of Jermaine Burton, who went to Alabama, and Jermaine Burton had 3 different high schools that he went to in high school to try to get more playing time. And old Nicky boy, when we said Nick was coaching scared, when we said things are changing, when we said Alabama's breaking, Nick Saban, you tell me the last time Nick Saban made a public comment and then not 2 years later had to walk back his own public comment. That's not measured. That's not tactful. That's not technical. Guys, we broke them.
Look.
Hi, Bama fan, by the way. I know you're
the next time he wins a national championship will be the first time he's won one in his 70s. I'm just saying all good things must come to an end. He's the greatest college football coach who will ever coach college football. And Alabama's going to be very good this year. They're not going to win the national championship.
No.
And that he won't ever win the national championship again, I don't think. But hey, maybe he will. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Let's talk about this Georgia schedule, Clint. Let's start with what I think is the most intriguing game of the schedule, and that is the Oregon game to start the season. Now, obviously, we're going to do an in-depth breakdown on this game. Scale of 1 to 10. How scared are you of this Oregon game in Atlanta, week 1?
Scale of 1 to 10?
Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being terrified, 1 being it might as well be Vanderbilt.
Look, I don't want to sully the good name of Dan Lanning by putting Vanderbilt and Coach Lee on it. That's just, that's hard. Daniel, a 2, a 3? Nothing about this game scares me. Nothing. No. About this game scares me. I would give it a 1, but you invoked the name of Vanderbilt, and I didn't want to throw shade.
Yeah. I do think there's a little bit that's scary about this game.
Okay.
1, I think if anybody's going to have an edge against Kirby Smart, it's going to be Dan Lanning. In the next game, the previous game that Kirby Smart coached was with Dan Lanning to win the national championship.
Yep.
And now no time has passed whatsoever. And Oregon's going to have some players. Oregon's obviously going to be really juiced up to play in this game. But look, if they're sending Bo Nix out there at quarterback.
Oh, no.
And they are, Clint.
They have to.
They don't have any other players. How could I be scared of this game? It's not scary whatsoever. So, Clint, if that's not scary, here's what I want you to do. You said we've been doing this podcast together for too long.
We're going to pick the next scariest one and see if we're right?
No. I want you to pick a 4-game window.
Yeah.
That is the most likely window for Georgia to acquire a loss. Okay? So, Oregon, Samford, South Carolina, Kent State, Missouri, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Georgia Tech. I want you to choose a 4-game window, 4 consecutive. That is the most likely window if Georgia's going to acquire a loss this season. Where are they going to get it?
It's going to be, Daniel, it's the last 4 games of the season. It's the last 4 games of the season.
You were
Tennessee,
almost right.
Tennessee at Mississippi State, at Kentucky. That Kentucky, look, I just have, every year, Kentucky's going to give me ulcers because of what I think about the program, Daniel. I just think highly of them, right?
Yeah.
And every year, Stoops does a good job. So we have to go to Kentucky. I know old Kroger Field ain't what it is. And then Tennessee. Tennessee always has a shot. I mean, I think they're going to regress, but they're going to put up a 50 burger on somebody. I just hope it's not us.
And not only that, Clint, but you didn't even mention the John Tweet Sports Memorial selection. We got to play Mississippi State next year, and so that's a potential loss there on the schedule. We've heard it. It sounds vaguely familiar, almost as if I've heard someone make that prediction before this moment.
It wasn't. You know what? It wasn't on this podcast. I'll tell you that much.
It was not on this podcast, thanks to some very crafty post-production work that was done.
Okay, we got to get him on here to defend himself.
Let's listen. It's Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Kentucky. I like the fact that subtly you just ranked Georgia Tech ahead of Florida. Is what
yes,
you
sir.
just did. You literally said.
I didn't.
You literally said Georgia is more likely to lose to Georgia Tech in Athens than they are to lose to the Florida Gators in Jacksonville.
I stand by it, Daniel. I stand by it.
Okay. Well, I like your confidence. That is not accurate. They're not going to lose to either of those teams, but that is the 4-game window is those 4 of the last 5, Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi State, and Kentucky. Look, the South Carolina game, I think, is one that you need to have your eyes open for. If you are, it's on the road, South Carolina. But the Oregon game, obviously, you got to have your eyes open for. But listen, Georgia's going to cruise to 7-0. They're going to be the number 1 team in college football or the number 2 team in college football at that point. It's going to be a whole season of trying to defend our position. And you look at the schedule and you look at this team and you got to like Georgia's chances. And if we're 12-0 again, as you mentioned, Clint, we're in that playoff. And it's almost as if you get into the playoff, Clint.
Okay, what happened?
Even if you don't beat all the teams that you play leading up to that, even if you lose a less consequential game, but you still get into the playoff, and then you win the next game against that same team, they still give you the national championship trophy. Did you know that, Clint?
What's interesting, Daniel, is they just hand them out. They just hand them out to you.
Even though you're not the SEC champion, which, Nick Saban told us himself in his post-game press conference, they'll never take that SEC championship and Cotton Bowl championship away from Alabama, which is true, but they'll never take the national championship away from the University of Georgia, and Georgia will have another chance to defend that and repeat as national champions next year.
Let's just roll it back. Let's just roll it back.
Let's just run it back. That's Clint. I'm Daniel. We are the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. Join us the rest of the week. We will have content on UGA. We're here every single day. Subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, and all that. We'll see you.